Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another live episode. I'm going to help you start your own bookkeeping business. Even if you've already started, I'm going to help you grow your bookkeeping business. My name is Zach Pasquarello. I started my business 5 years ago, and now I make these videos because I love talking about my own bookkeeping business and I love helping you and answering your questions. Speaking of questions, I've been getting so many really good questions in the comments of my other YouTube videos and also on my Facebook page and in my email, in my DMs. I simply can't keep up with all of the questions. I really want to help everybody. I really want to answer your questions. I just don't have time to respond to everybody's emails, everybody's messages, and everybody's comments. So I figured I'm just going to make these live videos so you can ask your own questions in the chat, in the comments, and I will do my best to get to everybody's questions. I plan on doing this for the next hour. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if the questions keep coming. I'll stay on. I'll keep answering them. So I'm going to go over whatever you want to talk about. QuickBooks Online, bookkeeping fundamentals, tax, sales, marketing, social media, website, Google My Business, onboarding, quoting, cleanup projects, customer service, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to ask, I'm here for it. I am here for you. I want to pass on the lessons that I've learned, the knowledge that I have, so that you can avoid the mistakes that I've made and fast track to success. So if anybody has any questions, any comments, let me know in the chat. This video is sponsored by my investment fund, Zip Capital. I'm offering 8% to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. If you want to learn more, the link is in the description. So ask away, ask your questions. I'm going to start off by talking about quoting and estimating. So I started off underpricing my services. I took one of my very first clients at $25 per hour. And it was a great learning experience. Obviously, way undervalued my services, but I was just so excited to get a customer. I was actually still working my full-time job. I was an area manager at an Amazon warehouse. I was working night shift. I was miserable. I hated my job. I loved bookkeeping. I loved accounting. I was very close to quitting my full-time job, but I just had to get a little bit more income. So I had the opportunity to work for a company about 10 hours per week, 200 or $25 per hour. So it was about $1,000 per month. So I was just excited to get the work and get the experience. Looking back on it, I wouldn't have, I'm happy I did it. I learned so much from working with this particular client. I'm happy I did it. I got a lot of great experience. Would I do it now? Absolutely not. Would I recommend somebody else work for 25 bucks an hour? Maybe. I think a lot of it depends on how eager or desperate you are to get a client. If you have a really great job working from home, you don't mind your current job, I would probably say don't take on a client at 25 bucks an hour. But if you're like me, working night shift in a warehouse, miserable, hate your job, maybe not a bad idea. Consider taking on a little bit of extra work at $25 per hour. I took on a client $100 per month. That was a huge mistake. $100 per month, not worth it. I would never do that again. My absolute bare minimum is $200 per month, and it's got to be a very new company or a very small company. I'm talking 10, 15 transactions per month, super simple, super straightforward. $200 per month is my absolute minimum. I try to keep it pretty simple. Whenever I quote projects, whenever I quote new clients, I request 3 most recent bank statements, 3 most recent credit card statements, or if you already have QuickBooks and all of your accounts are connected to your bank feed, then I simply request access to your QuickBooks account. And then I'll look through your general ledger, your chart of accounts, your QBO bank feed, and I'm going to look to see all of your transactions in the past 3 months. And then I'm going to find your average number of monthly transactions. So now I quote depending on the number of transactions that you have. It's still a fixed monthly quote. It doesn't change. It's just based on an average, your average 3 most recent months number of transactions. And then I'll typically charge anywhere from $2 to $4 on average per transaction. When I was just getting started, I was at $2. Whenever I had 2 years of experience, I upped it to $3 per transaction. And here's the secret. Here's the interesting part. still a ton of people were saying yes, even at $3 per transaction. So 5 years ago, inflation, cost of living changed a lot over the past 5 years. So I would probably recommend start at $3 per transaction, especially if you live in a high cost of living area like a big city or a major metropolitan area. Start at $3 per transaction, minimum 200, maybe even $300 per month, bare minimum, regardless of size. $3 per transaction. I charge extra for accounts payable and accounts receivable management. So my bookkeeping package is only recording transactions in QuickBooks, reconciling accounts, and generating financial reports. I don't do anything else for my bare minimum basic package. I will manage your accounts payable, manage your accounts receivable. I charge $5, same concept for quoting. I'll look at your 3 most recent months, I'll look at your accounts payable, and I'll quote $5 per accounts payable or $10 per accounts receivable. I like to keep the quoting process very straightforward. That way, I want to quote you as quickly as possible. So I could theoretically onboard a new client in 24 hours. You call me, we have a 10-minute conversation. It ends with next steps, bank statements, credit card statements, access to your QBO. I review it quickly. Boom. I send you the email. Here's your bookkeeping quote. Here's what I do. This offer is only valid for 10 days. If you get back to me same day, then we're good. If you agree to my quote, then we can get started working together right away. Next steps, I always try to end the previous step with what's next. Next steps. So first it's a phone call, then it's a quote, and then it's a client agreement. So I'm going to send you my client agreement electronically. I use PandaDoc to electronically deliver my client agreement. You sign it. I get your bank account information. I get authorization to pull my fees from your bank account. Once you sign that client agreement, we are good to go. I go into my bank account. I go into my QuickBooks. I enter you as a new customer. I enter the payment information into my bank account, into my payment processor. Boom. The next day, I get paid. It's really as simple as that. But it all starts with getting a little bit of experience. And so that's kind of the whole point of you all being here, you all joining these videos, and hopefully getting some experience, hopefully getting some knowledge, some information so that you can make the right decision next time you have a sales call. Because I didn't know this stuff when I was just getting started. So that's why I make these videos. I also have a course for sale. It's in the description of this video. I go over everything, A to Z, everything you need to know to start your own bookkeeping business. That's for sale. I have weekly meetings every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have an exclusive private group meeting where we all meet virtually and we talk about it. We have a live Q&A. Everybody gets to talk, everybody gets to share stories. And the really cool part is that other people get to answer other people's questions. So you're learning from not only me, but a group of 40 other bookkeepers. So that's really cool. That's also linked in the description of this video. I've got a Facebook group. Definitely recommend join the Facebook group. You can ask questions. There's like 20,000 people in the Facebook group. And then finally, I've got digital downloads, free and paid, on my store, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. That's all linked below. Okay, let's get to the questions. Looks like quite a few people have joined. Quite a few people are in the chat. So if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to bring up, drop it in the chat and I'll do my best to get to everybody's questions. Alec, good morning. Ryan, thanks for doing this. Of course, I love it. You're welcome. Thinking of starting a side hustle of bookkeeping. I'm very experienced, 20 years. How important is getting a website up and running before launching? I recommend get a website. There's going to be several things that you need to do to get started. LLC setup, EIN, bank account, website, Google My Business, social media, QuickBooks Online. Those 7 things. Start working on those 7 things, and they're all going to take different amounts of time. Some of them 1 day, some 2 weeks, some maybe a month. Just get started on all 7 of those things right away. But I think a website's really important. It makes you look legit, professional, and it's really super simple. Just go to squarespace.com. I'm not sponsored by Squarespace. They're not paying me to say this. I don't have an affiliate link with Squarespace. Just go to Squarespace, get a website, really super simple. Mocha Latte, good morning. Francisco Junior, Junior, Junior. Hi, Zach. Thanks a lot for taking the time to answer our questions. I live outside the US and I would like to start a bookkeeping business and cover USA customers. What are your recommendations? Could you ask more specific questions? So it's much more beneficial for everybody if you ask really specific questions. So my recommendations, I've got a ton of recommendations, but try to be a little bit more specific in your questions if you can. How do you handle bookkeeping for a business that just started? I have a lead that is already established as an LLC and making money, but it's just not getting a business bank account this month. So I would treat it like any other client. Get their QuickBooks Online subscription set up, connect their bank accounts to their bank feed. The only thing is you're going to have to ask, did you use any other bank accounts, credit cards, personal bank accounts, personal credit cards? Did you use any other accounts for business expenses? If so, the best thing to do, just tell them to put it into a Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet. You just need to know three things. If they used a different bank account, I need to know the date of the transaction, a brief description. It can be really vague, like office supplies, or it can be a little bit more specific, Amazon office supplies, or it can be really, really specific, office chair, Amazon office supplies. So you need to know the date, a description, and the amount. So treat it like any other business with their business bank account. But if they used other accounts, not their business bank account for expenses, ask them to make that Google spreadsheet or that Excel spreadsheet. Ryan, also, do you carry E&O insurance for your business? Yes, I have E&O errors and omissions insurance. It's pretty affordable. I think it's like $600 per year. I have it. I don't know anything about insurance. I'll be honest. I hate insurance. I hate all types of insurance. I'm not a big fan of it, but if you need it, it's great to have it. So hopefully you never need it, but in the event of an emergency or a crisis, I guess it's nice to have it. Hey, Steele, after your initial meeting with a potential client, if they decide to move forward, is there another meeting you schedule to get all documentation and set up, or is it email communication? Just email. I'm a big fan of email. I try to keep it super, super simple. So once you decide to start working with me, I'll send you the client agreement. If you already have QuickBooks, you need to invite me to your QuickBooks. If you don't have QuickBooks, I'll set it up for you. And there's a revenue share option. So right now I'm getting paid $400 every single month from revenue share from bookkeeping clients who I have set up on QuickBooks Online. So you can get 30% for the first 12 months of what your bookkeeping clients pay QuickBooks for their QuickBooks subscription. So I add clients using revenue share, and you just need to know literally just two things: name of their business, email address. That's all you need to know to get them set up as a client in QuickBooks. And then once they're set up, if it's a new account, I'll send them an email. This actually just happened this past month. I just onboarded a new client. And I'm actually going to pull up the email that I sent to them. So I have a template. That I send to all of my new customers, all of my new bookkeeping clients. And I literally just onboarded a new bookkeeping client this week. Here's what I say. Feel free to write this down. I just signed you up for a new QuickBooks account for your company. You should have received an email directly from QuickBooks. You will want to follow the link in the email and create your account as soon as possible. It's important that you do this soon because the link will expire. Then you will need to enter your billing information directly into the QuickBooks website so that your subscription can be activated. It's also very important that you do this as soon as possible. You can do this by click the gear icon in the top right-hand corner, click subscriptions and billing, click the green subscribe button, enter your billing information. Finally, please connect all of your business bank accounts and business credit cards to the QuickBooks bank feed. And then I insert a link to a QuickBooks Online tutorial. Click here to find detailed instructions, how to connect your bank account to your QuickBooks Online bank feed. And then finally, please let me, this is very important. Please let me know when you have completed all of the steps. I cannot start your bookkeeping until these steps are done. Very important to say that. Now they know the ball is in your court. I can't move forward until you do what I've asked you to do. So in 2 weeks, when they call you and say, Zach, why isn't my bookkeeping done? You can say, hey, John, did you see the email that I sent you 2 weeks ago? And then finally, I always end all of my emails. Please call me if you have any questions. If you want to call me so that I can walk you through how to do all of this, I'll be more than happy to. Listen, when I'm working with my clients, I want to get started as fast as possible. Like I want to start doing your bookkeeping. So I don't want you to wait 2 weeks and then call me because you're feeling frustrated. I want you to start your QuickBooks subscription. I want the client to start their QuickBooks subscription and connect their bank account so I can start right away. So I would love for all of my clients to call me on day one and say, hey, Zach, I need some help. Can you walk me through exactly how to connect my bank accounts to my bank feed? Absolutely. I would love to do that. So that's what I do. So that was kind of a little bit longer of an answer than you probably wanted, but that's what I send to all of my new clients if they don't have QuickBooks. If they do have QuickBooks already, then I just simply say, it all depends. Am I starting January 1st or am I starting July 1st or am I starting August 1st? If I'm starting January 1st, then I will say, please send me all of your December 2024 through July 2025 bank statements and credit card statements. So I'll start categorizing transactions in the bank feed, but I will also request immediately, as soon as possible, all of the necessary bank statements, credit card statements, and loan statements. That way, once everything's recorded and categorized, I can go on to reconciling the accounts. All right, let's see what else. Thomas, hello. Thanks for inviting me and producing this video. You're welcome, Thomas. I'm doing it just for you. Jake, let's see where I lost my spot. Jake, I have one main question for you. How do you handle receipts for that many clients? I don't. I encourage all of my clients to keep their own receipts. I don't put receipts into QuickBooks. If you want me to, I try not to because it's a lot of work, but I will charge extra if you want me to put receipts into QuickBooks. And the best way to do it, I don't handle paper. You're not going to mail me your receipts. You're not going to drop off your receipts. You're not going to drop off your bank statements. No paper. I'm operating out of my home office. I've got one filing cabinet, not enough space for 80 clients to drop off all of their receipts and bank documents. That's another thing. I have 80 bookkeeping clients. It's actually 76. It's 76 bookkeeping clients on average paying me $500 per month. So right now my bookkeeping business is making about $40,000 per month and I have virtually no expenses. I do all the work myself except for 4 clients. I have a subcontractor who does the bookkeeping for 4 of my clients. I do the bookkeeping for everybody else. What was your question? Receipts. So if you do, the best way to do it, so Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox. If you want me to add your receipts to QuickBooks, you as the client, you have to put the receipts into a Google Drive or a Dropbox or a Microsoft OneDrive. The QBO receipts function is terrible. I really strongly encourage all my clients, like, do not upload receipts into QuickBooks. It's a terrible feature. It's a terrible function. It's really hard to use. Google Drive. Upload all your receipts into Google Drive. And then I will go into there once a month, once a week, once a quarter, depending on volume. And then I will take the receipts in the Google Drive. I will download them and I'll match them to your QBO transactions. That's how I do it. I do that for one client, 1 out of 76. Alec, do you recommend Google Ads? If so, could you give us a tutorial on ad campaigns you have had success with? Alec, I don't do any paid advertising. I don't have any experience with it. I've never hired a social media manager. I've never hired an advertising agency. I've never paid for advertising. So I have no experience growing my business using paid ads. I'm sorry. I just don't have any experience with it. If you do want to do it, I guess you've got two options. You could try to figure it out yourself. That scares me because you could spend a lot of money, lose a lot of money, and not get anything. Or you could hire somebody to do it for you. That also scares me because I like to do things on my own. I like to learn how to do things. So I don't like the idea of being trapped and being forced to work with somebody for a long time, but you'll probably spend between $500 and $2,000 per month if you want to hire somebody to run your ads for you. I've never done it. Thomas, my question. Okay, let me just touch on one other thing. So my clients on average stick around for about 2 years, and they make on average, I charge on average $500. So that means they're paying me $6,000 per year. They stick around for 2 years. You've all heard people talking about lifetime value of a customer. So my customers right now are worth $12,000. So if you know that your customers are worth $12,000, if I could pay $2,000 per month for an ad agency, and if I could get one client per month, then that could potentially be worth it because my customers are paying me $12,000 throughout their lifetime. They stick around for 2 years, they pay $500 a month, $12,000. So if I only have to pay $2,000 to acquire one customer and they pay me $12,000, then I can just rinse and repeat that process forever and I'll continue to make money. So it's important that you keep track of your customers, keep track of when they sign up, how much they're paying, and when they leave. That way you can calculate the lifetime value of your customers. Probably if you're doing a good job like I do, delivering high quality customer service, you could probably expect to keep your customers for about 2 years. So you can figure out how much could you spend on advertising to get clients to make it worth it. Not a bad idea. Thomas, my question from a time management perspective, how many hours per month do you allocate on average for your basic account? 2 hours per month, 30 minutes per week. That's about it. Pretty straightforward. 30 minutes every single week. I log into each client once per week. So I have 80 clients, 16 accounts per day, 30 minutes on average, sometimes less, very rarely more. It's probably more like 15 to 30 minutes. So it takes me 4 to 6 hours per day to do the bookkeeping for 80 clients. Now, it took me a long time to get to this point. So if you wake up tomorrow with 80 clients, it's going to take you a lot longer than 30 minutes per week to do their bookkeeping because you have to learn how to do their bookkeeping. So in the first 3 months, it's going to take you more time. It's going to be harder. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to be asking more questions. You're not going to know how they communicate. So it's going to be harder in the beginning, which is why it's a good thing that you don't get too many clients too quickly. Because if you woke up tomorrow, even with 20 clients, you would be so overwhelmed and so stressed out. I generally recommend try to get 2 clients per month. That's a good, slow, steady growth. 2 clients per month. That way, in 1 year, you'll have about 20 clients and you'll be making about $5,000 to $10,000 per month. Really reasonable expectation. 5,000 to 10,000 per month after the first year, 20 clients. ESME369. Do you think starting with restaurant bookkeeping is too hard for a beginner? I hate restaurants. I don't do bookkeeping for restaurants because they have sales tax, tips, employees, payroll tax, inventory, cost of goods sold, multiple locations, bar sales, restaurant sales, merchandise sales, payment processors. Restaurants are my least favorite. So I'm kind of smiling because it's funny that you bring that up. I hate working with restaurants. Restaurant owners, if you're watching this, I love you. I've got nothing against restaurant owners, but your bookkeeping is really complicated. I just don't like it. Real estate investors also have really complicated bookkeeping, but I like it. I like real estate investing bookkeeping. There's a lot of non-cash transactions. There's a lot of assets and liabilities with real estate investors. There's a lot of journal entries, prepaid expenses, rental income, inventory, work in progress. There's a lot of complications with real estate investing, but I like it. Restaurants are also super, super complicated, but could be a good niche to get into. I know there's a ton of bookkeepers who specialize in restaurants. So nothing against restaurants. It's just my own personal preference. Not a fan of them. But it could be a good place to start. Probably not. One of my first big clients was a restaurant. So that's actually how I got started. Back in February 2021, I found a restaurant owner on Facebook. I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks." I remember to this day, I was sitting in Amazon. I was on my Amazon laptop working at Amazon, messaging this restaurant owner on Facebook. And I was messaging him about my bookkeeping services, about his business. We set up a meeting. Saturday, 10 a.m., I went to his restaurant. He paid me $9,000 to do a 2-year cleanup. He was one of my very first big clients. He was one of the big reasons why I was confident and able to quit my full-time job, because he paid me $9,000. So I figured, worst case scenario, I'll do his books for the next 3 months. And if I get no other clients, then I'll give up. But best case scenario, I've got $9,000 right here from this one client covered in the next 2 to 3 months. Give me some breathing room and a chance to grow. So restaurants can be great, but they can also be really hard. So sorry, that's not a very straightforward answer, but all right, keep the questions coming, guys. We're only halfway done. It's 10:30. I'm going to try to stay on for the next 30 minutes. As long as you all are answering questions, as long as you all are watching, I'll stay on and do my best to answer everybody's questions. I will just mention this video is sponsored by my investment fund, Zip Capital. I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. If you want to learn more, click the link in the description of this video. And I've got a course that teaches you everything you need to know how to start a bookkeeping business. And that's also linked in the description of this video. Okay. Romeo, when it all boils down to it, what's a good hourly rate to have as a minimum, even when considering a monthly flat fee, if one's been doing this 5+ years? Well, if you think about it, I make $500 per month and I charge, or it takes me 2 hours per month. So realistically, I'm making about $250 per hour. Now, of course, I would never say that to my clients because nobody's going to pay a bookkeeper $250 per hour. Here's the thing. This is why I'm such a big fan of picking a niche. And when I say pick a niche, I mean pick a service and a software. So I'm not necessarily talking about picking a niche like restaurants or real estate investors, but pick a service. So I only do bookkeeping. Because of that, I partner with a CPA and he's a tax expert. I'm a bookkeeper. He knows more about tax than I do. He knows more about accounting than I do, but I'm a better bookkeeper than he is. Nothing against him. I'm not smarter than him. I do bookkeeping for 40 hours every week. He doesn't. He's a tax expert. He's much better at taxes than I am, but I'm a better bookkeeper than he is. And when I say I'm a better bookkeeper, I'm faster, I'm more knowledgeable, I'm more efficient, which means I can handle more work. So when you start looking at your hourly rate, it all comes down to efficiency and expertise. So if you can get really good at bookkeeping, then you can make more money per hour because you can do more work in less time, make more money in less time, AKA increase your hourly rate. And also you can pick a niche in the software that you work with. I only work with QuickBooks Online. So I only do bookkeeping and I only work with QuickBooks Online. Same concept. I'm a QuickBooks Online expert. I'm in QuickBooks Online 40 hours a week. So I can do everything very efficiently, very quickly, and very well inside of QuickBooks Online. So, same concept as being a bookkeeping expert. I'm a QuickBooks Online expert. And because of that, I can work very quickly. I can make a lot of money in a short period of time. So, I would never charge somebody $250 per hour to do their bookkeeping. But when you get good at it, you can end up making about 250 bucks per hour. Samantha, how do I get my first client? That's a pretty tough question. Social media marketing. I've got a link down below, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. If you go to my store, I've got a 30-day social media marketing strategy guide. I walk you through exactly what to post and when to post it for your first 30 days. That's how I grew my business, social media. I think social media can be very powerful if you use it consistently for a long period of time, build your brand. Here's the thing. Financial services, all about trust. The best way to build trust with somebody is to show up consistently and to build relationships, to engage with them. It's a lot like going to a networking event. Imagine you go to a networking event and you get a nice haircut, you dress up, you look good, you feel good, but you just stand in the corner and you don't talk to anybody. Not really going to do you any good. You're not going to build relationships. Exact same concept with social media. Imagine you get a professional headshot, nice photo, a couple nice graphics, a nice logo, a nice website. You put it all up on your social media, and then you kind of forget about it. Same concept. You're not doing enough. You're not building relationships. So when you go to a networking event, what do? You shake hands, exchange business cards, get contact information, chat, talk for 10 minutes, have a good time, laugh, share stories, build connections, build relationships, establish trust, and then hopefully you talk again or you follow up or you have a coffee meeting next month. Same concept with social media. So, of course, get the new haircut, wear the nice suit, wear the nice clothes, get a nice looking photo for your profile picture, get an amazing logo, get a clean website, get all that stuff, but then do something with it. Every day, engage with your audience. Comment on people's posts, reply to people's comments. If you go to my Facebook, I try to, not always, but I try to reply to a lot of comments. I try to comment on other people's stuff. You're building relationships. That's how you're going to get your first client. Create social media marketing content, get a website, Google My Business, start connecting with business owners and start talking with them, start engaging with them, having conversations, having phone calls, messages, build relationships. True 13, hi, following your business niche strategy, is it feasible I cannot do cleanups and still build my clientele? Yes, but there's really no point. Cleanups are amazing. I just got this new client that I just onboarded. She's a real estate investor. She needs bookkeeping for 2024 and 2025. This is amazing. This is a dream come true. So I'm going to do all of her 2024 bookkeeping, all of her 2025 bookkeeping. That's all of her 2025 through August. So that's 12 months, 2024, 8 months, 2025. That's 20 months. I'm charging her $500 per month. I just sent her an invoice for $10,000 and she just paid it yesterday. So I just got paid $10,000. I'm going to do all of her bookkeeping next week. I'll get it done in 1 week, make $10,000 on one client, and then she's going to continue paying $500 per month starting September 1st moving forward. If I chose not to do a cleanup project, first, she would never have hired me because she needs somebody to do her 2024 bookkeeping. She never would have hired me. She would have found somebody who offered cleanup projects. One, so I would have lost the client. Two, I would have, if she did hire me, I would have missed out on $10,000. Seems kind of silly. It's the exact same thing. Doing a cleanup project, doing catch up, it's the exact same thing. You're just doing bookkeeping. Instead of doing bookkeeping for 1 week or 1 month, you're doing bookkeeping for 20 months. It's the exact same thing. Nothing changes. You're just doing more of what you are already doing. So there's no point in not offering cleanup projects. Cleanup projects are how I get almost all of my clients. Almost everybody comes to me saying, hey, I need you to go back to January and clean up and do like the last 6 months, and then you can continue moving forward. So I would not recommend, I definitely recommend do cleanup projects. They're amazing. Hey, Zach, Brian Birdsong. Thanks for all of your shared info and guidance. How do you feel about joining networking groups like BNI or Chamber of Commerce? You're about to get me to go on a rant for a second here. Let me take one more sip. BNI, networking groups, it all comes down to how much time you have. How much time do you want to spend and your personal preference? What do you like doing? If you're introverted and if you don't like to go out and shake hands and meet new people and have small talk, don't do it. If you're extroverted, if you love the idea of meeting strangers and talking to new people, if this sounds like a fun time, do it. How much time do you have? If you have kids, a family, if you're involved in the community, if you've got a ton of friends, if you're busy, if you're working, if you're traveling, if you've got personal hobbies, if you're super busy, don't do it. You don't need to do in-person networking events. If you're got some free time, maybe single, no kids, don't love to travel, don't have a ton of hobbies, not super involved in the community, if any of those are true, or if all of those are true, and if it's Thursday night and you're like, I've got nothing to do, I'm just sitting at home playing video games or watching Netflix. If you're bored, if you've got nothing to do and you're extroverted and you like the idea of going to networking events, do it. You don't have to do it. I never really did it. I've gone to a couple real estate investor networking groups and they've always been okay. Every time I leave them, I always think, that was kind of a waste of time. I wish I just would have stayed home and spent time with my family instead. It's kind of a waste of time. So you don't need to do it. You can certainly grow your business without doing it. If you're working your full-time job right now and you're trying to grow your bookkeeping business, you probably don't have time. So I would focus all of your time on the internet, social media marketing, create content, learn bookkeeping, maybe take intro to accounting at your local community college, become a QBO certified pro advisor, get your website up and running, write a couple blogs, read a couple blogs, do some research, create social media marketing content, things like that. That's going to be a much better use of your time. Because here's the thing, whenever you create a post on the internet, 10 people might see it, 50 people might see it, and it's going to take you 20 minutes. And you can do that every single day. If you go to a networking event, you might meet 10 people, but it's going to take you 4 hours, an hour to get ready, 30 minutes to drive there. You're there for 2 hours, 30 minutes to get home. Boom. You've just spent 4 hours and you met maybe 10 people, and 7 of those 10 people have no interest in hiring you. They want you to buy their services. So they're just trying to sell you. So you really only met 1 or 2 people who are you just spent 4 hours and maybe met 1 or 2 people who might eventually hire you. Not knocking them. I think they're fine. I think they're okay if you want to and if you have time. If you don't have time and you don't want to do it, you absolutely do not have to. Marie, hello, Zach. I am from the Philippines. Do you have any idea how can I price US clients? I have a current client doing recording to generating a report, analyzing the reports, and create invoice and bills. So I don't really know much about the Philippines, but in the beginning, maybe go back and rewatch all of the beginning of this video because I went over for like 5 minutes on how to price and how to quote clients. So maybe Marie, I'd recommend, or anybody else who's interested in learning about pricing and quoting, go back and watch the beginning of this video. I go in full depth, full detail on how I quote my clients. Mike Peterson, hi Zach, how do you handle clients that have a hard time switching over from QuickBooks Desktop, or do you not work with them if they show any hesitance to switch? I don't try to pressure anybody into doing anything. I only work with QuickBooks Online. So it's pretty straightforward. If you want me to do your bookkeeping, you have to switch to QuickBooks Online. The only thing I do with QuickBooks Desktop is I will help you convert from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online. That's it. So if you want to stay with QuickBooks Desktop, that's fine. I respect your decision. I'm not going to pressure you to do anything you don't want to do, but I can't be your bookkeeper. All right, let's see. Want to make sure I don't lose my spot. McFlash, is a bookkeeping business more scalable than an accounting firm? By accounting firm, I assume you mean taxes. I don't know. I've never been a tax preparer, so I don't know. The one thing I do know is that tax work is all at once. So I'm not a fan of it. You're like really busy for 3 or 4 months out of the year versus bookkeeping is cool because it's nice and spread out. I'm really busy the first week of every month, but my work is spread out all year. So I don't necessarily have a busy season. So I like doing bookkeeping. Here's the thing. If you want to make more money, don't do taxes or CFO services just because you want to make more money. You can absolutely make a ton of money just doing bookkeeping. I'm making $40,000 per month just bookkeeping. Sound Healer. Does each company have a different QuickBooks account, or can I house all my clients under one QBO profile? Each company has a separate QuickBooks account, but there is a new feature called QuickBooks Enterprise. It's new. It came out this summer. I don't know anything about it, but I think it's pretty expensive. I think you can have multiple QuickBooks accounts under one, multiple companies under one QuickBooks account in QuickBooks Enterprise. I think QuickBooks Enterprise is designed to hopefully replace QuickBooks Desktop. I don't know anything about it. So for all of my clients, I just make them create a separate QuickBooks account. It's like $35 a month for the cheapest, maybe $60 a month for QuickBooks Essentials. So I just that's like going out to eat once a month. So I just make everybody has to have a separate QuickBooks Online account for each business. Michael, thank you for what you do. You are a huge inspiration. I started in May and already have 2 clients. Let's go. Good job, Michael. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, if Michael can do it, you can too. I did it. Michael did it. I know there's a ton of people here who have onboarded several clients in the past 3 or 4 months. So congratulations, Michael. I'm proud of you. Dorada, congrats. I've been following you since you started 4 years ago. Dorada, I really appreciate your support. Sound Healer. Also, I have a client with 3 different companies. First client, I have accounting experience, but what's the fastest way to learn QBO? Certification. Yeah, you can become a QuickBooks Online certified pro advisor. Honestly, the fastest way to learn is to just spend time inside of QuickBooks. Watch YouTube videos, watch QuickBooks tutorials. I have a ton of QuickBooks tutorials for free on my YouTube channel. I've got a course for sale that teaches you everything you need to know. It's linked in the description of the video. If you want to learn for free, you definitely can watch YouTube videos. Here's what I've learned about learning. There's 2 things you're going to spend. You're either going to spend time or you're going to spend money. So which resource do you have more of? If you have a ton of time, then watch hours and hours of free YouTube videos. If you don't have a lot of time, but you have money, then you can spend money to buy courses and classes. And basically what you're buying, all of the information is accessible on the internet. What you're buying is organized education, consolidated education. So I have 1,000 videos on YouTube. I guarantee you all of the content in my course is somewhere out there on YouTube. But what you're buying is saving your time, consolidated, organized education. So when you buy a course, when you buy a college class, all of the information is organized in a way that you can quickly get through it and learn everything you need to learn. Let's see, Alec. When a client has a noticeable increase in monthly transactions, how long do you take before you increase their monthly rate? Depends. So I onboarded a brand new business last year in April, and then their company exploded in July. And they were paying $600 a month in April. July, I called him. I was like, hey, man, your business doubled in the first 3 months. I have to increase your price to $800. He's like, I totally get it. I understand. No problem. Appreciate you. So 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it all depends. Feel it out. There's not an exact science. There's not a perfect formula for when to increase prices, but you're going to know. You're going to know every time you log into the QuickBooks, you're going to get that feeling in your gut. Oh no, not this client again. Your client's going to call you, going to email you, you're going to do their books, and you're just going to be like, this is the worst thing ever. So much more work than I signed up for. You're going to know, Alec. You're going to know whenever it's time to increase their prices. And when you get that feeling, act immediately. Don't wait. Increase their price. You'll thank yourself in the future. All right, we got 10 more minutes. Keep the questions coming, guys. I love doing this. I really appreciate all of you watching. This video is sponsored by Zip Capital, offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. If you want to learn more about my real estate debt investment fund, there's a link in the description. You can register on my website. I would love for you to join my investment fund, offering up to 12% fixed annual returns. All right, Marty, in your experience, what is the main reason that a client leaves? There's two reasons a client might leave, and they're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. One, the client slows down and their business fails. So it shrinks and it dies and it fails. And so if the business fails, they lose revenue, they can't pay me anymore. The opposite side of the spectrum is the business grows and they need to hire somebody in-house. So kind of two different things are happening here. Businesses fail, businesses grow. Either way, you usually lose them. Like when they grow to the point where they just need more timely financial reports, they need somebody in-house, they've got a lot going on, they need somebody 20, 30 hours a week to handle everything, then you're going to lose them. But other than that, if companies just kind of stay status quo, they really don't leave. As long as you're doing a good job, they really don't leave, in my experience. Steele, how did you feel doing your personal work on your W-2 job laptop? How did you feel doing your personal work on your W-2 job laptop? That was 5 years ago. Kind of hard to remember. I didn't feel too bad about it. The entire when I was in the Army, when I was at Chewy, when I was at Amazon, my laptop came with me when I went home. It was kind of like my laptop. So I had always had a laptop in all of my jobs. And yeah, I was constantly in school. So I was always using my laptop for school, taking my college classes. I use my laptop for everything. So I guess I never really thought about it. I didn't really feel one way or the other about using my W-2 job laptop for my personal work. Coastal Pink. But if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. You can probably get a laptop for $500 on Amazon or go to Best Buy and you can probably buy a laptop for $500. So if you don't want to do that on your work computer, then just get your own laptop. It's pretty easy. Coastal Pink, what are your thoughts about beginning bookkeeping for the landscaping lawn care industry? Any tips you have? I think it's great. I've got several landscaping companies, super easy work. They've got a couple subcontractors, a couple vehicles, a couple loans, really easy bookkeeping, ton of landscapers. The only issue is that their work is seasonal. So they might not be able to afford you in the winter. So just keep that in consideration. And also, if you quote a seasonal company, like if a landscaper comes to you in March and says, "Hey, I want to hire you as their bookkeeper," be careful, because if you look at their books and you see December, January, February, and you look at their transactional data, might not seem like a whole lot going on. You might underquote them, but in reality, they've got hundreds of transactions in the spring, summer, and fall. So if you're quoting a seasonal company, make sure you look at maybe 6 months or 12 months of transaction data before you quote them. Gasper Lopez, I'm still in the learning stage. Would you recommend start working as a part-time bookkeeper to get experience or get as much certification first in QuickBooks? I would not recommend working as a part-time bookkeeper to get experience. I would just recommend work on your social media marketing, fine-tune your skills, improve your education, take an intro to accounting college class, buy my course or watch a bunch of free YouTube videos. I don't think being a part-time bookkeeper is a great idea. You can be an independent contractor. So maybe find a small business who maybe needs a little bit more, maybe work 30, $40 an hour, working at like for 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month. So not quite part-time, more like an independent contractor. That could be a good option. I did that. Like I was saying in the beginning, I worked for somebody 40 hours a month, 25 bucks an hour. So I got paid $1,000 an hour, $1,000 a month to work as an independent contractor for a small business. So that might be a better idea. Work as an independent contractor for a larger business. Don't necessarily work part-time. Samantha, hello, Zach. I'm having trouble finding my first client. What do you recommend? Social media, social media, social media marketing. Create a presence online. Create content every day. Connect with potential clients, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, Instagram. Connect with them, engage with them, and then send them a message. Keep it simple, keep it short, keep it straightforward, keep it honest. Hey, my name is Samantha. I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. Nasra, I live in the Netherlands and I'm looking for a mentor. I want to start my own bookkeeping business, but I don't know where to begin. Do you help a person like me? Yes, Nasra. I've got a great option for you. Every single Monday at 3 p.m., I host a group, live, private group with 40 other bookkeepers, and we meet every Monday for 1 hour. That would be a great option for you, Nasra. The link is in the description of this video. Definitely recommend it. It only costs $49 per month, and you can cancel anytime. So you could sign up, join for 1 month, and see if you like it, and then you could cancel anytime. And that also gets you access to my private Facebook group. So if you join my weekly call or buy my course, that gets you access to my private Facebook group where I really try to do my best to answer everybody's questions. Dean Trivia, do you think bookkeeping will be replaced by AI? Happy you bring that up, Dean. I am actually making a video on Tuesday. I'm going to talk all about AI, artificial intelligence. So definitely tune in on Tuesday. I'm going to be publishing a video at around 12 p.m. on Tuesday talking all about artificial intelligence and bookkeeping. Antoine, I just launched my business this week. I have both my Pro Advisor certification. I've been posting on LinkedIn daily. What should I be doing during the day when I'm not posting? Connect with people, send connection requests, engage with people, comment on people's posts, write a blog on your website, brainstorm content ideas, listen to podcasts, listen to entrepreneur, marketing, bookkeeping, sales podcasts, get some inspiration, watch some YouTube videos of Alex Hormozy, other people doing what you want to be doing. What else? Optimize your website, Google My Business, create as much content as you possibly can. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, X, TikTok. If you have more time, start doing more things. Go to Google Maps and look for local businesses, start calling them, get their email address, start emailing local businesses. Sit in front of your computer. Okay? Sit in front of your computer. You can't do anything else. My goal right now, this is you, Antoine. My goal right now is I'm just going to think, what can I do for these next 30 minutes to contact more businesses, to get my name out there, to try to get clients? Just sit here, be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to do anything else other than sit here and think, what can I do right now to increase the likelihood that somebody hires me? So Facebook, maybe it's updating the banner image on your Facebook. Maybe it's updating the description on your Instagram page. Or maybe it's, hey, I'm going to create 5 pieces of content. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to read a blog post, 10 bookkeeping tips for new business owners. I'm going to read 3 blog posts, and I'm going to come up with 5 social media posts that I can post this weekend. I'm going to go ham this weekend. I'm going to post Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and Sunday night. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to make 5 posts. I'm going to schedule them in advance. That I don't know if you guys know this, but Facebook Instagram, LinkedIn, you can schedule all of your posts in advance. That's pretty much what I do every single day. Every day, I schedule a post for 8 a.m. the next day. Every Friday, I schedule 3 or 4 posts to go live over the weekend. Create content. I've been creating content for 5 years. I'm not slowing down. As a matter of fact, I'm ramping up. As I progress through my business, I'm creating more content. So I would never assume that you're doing too much. Look at all the major brands, all the major profiles. You see their ads all over the place. You see commercials all the time on TV. You see people posting everywhere on social media. So I would always assume you're not doing enough. You could always do more. Hopefully that was helpful. All right, Dean, we got 2 more minutes. I'm in UNI doing economics with accounting. Should I continue with a degree or just focus on bookkeeping business? I would recommend continue with a degree. It's always nice to have a college degree as a backup plan. So I would never recommend anybody drop out of college. Continue. You can do both. Absolutely, you can do both. Grow your bookkeeping business and continue your college education. Florida Adventure Mom. Hi, I've been doing construction bookkeeping for the past 2 years. As part of it, I do job costing for the jobs. Is that a good niche to focus on? Absolutely. Construction companies need good bookkeepers. How hard is it to get those type of clients? It's not. They're all over Facebook. Those construction guys are all over Facebook. They're all over Facebook groups, local real estate investor groups, local contractor, local home remodeling groups. They're all over Facebook. You could find 20 of those clients easily on Facebook. So that's a great niche to be in. And even better if you can learn the software. Like, what is it? JobTread. JobTread is a pretty common one. And there's other software specific for construction companies. So learn those softwares. And if you offer job costing, you're going to be very valuable. Make sure you price your services accordingly. You are going above and beyond offering job costing. So charge much more than you typically would. You're probably starting $1,000 a month for good, real job costing. Michael Harris, would you be willing to provide feedback on my website? Michael, probably not. I'll be honest with you, probably not. But if you join my weekly call, join my call, show up to my meeting at 3 p.m., and we can all look at your website as a group. So join my call, Michael, 3 p.m. on Monday, and I will provide feedback on your website. Let's see. Jay, thanks. Just started listening. Everyone's questions, really. That's wonderful. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to try to keep doing this every Friday at around the same time, 10 a.m. So I got to hop off. I appreciate all of you watching. Check out all the links in the description of this video. Zip Capital offering 8% to 12% fixed returns. I've got a course that teaches you everything. Join my weekly calls. Join my Facebook group. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.